Hello and welcome to 2023. Day 2, but I'm recording this on day 1, so that's alright, isn't it? I figured, what better way to start the year off than some good old-fashioned Need for Speed Underground, a game which is going to be 20 years old this year. That wasn't planned, I just booted it up and saw the copyright and went, oh Jesus. But yeah, you can see the last few weeks of the weekly Waypoint for my investigation back into the PlayStation 2 era, but what I find fun about Need for Speed Underground is that I tend to go into every single new Need for Speed game going, I hope this plays like Need for Speed Underground, and then it doesn't. And then I'm like, oh man, I miss Need for Speed Underground. But you know what I can do instead? I can go and play Need for Speed Underground. Isn't technology magical? This is very early in the career, by the way. I thought about doing some arcade races, but I went, sod it, why not continue my campaign while I'm recording the weekly Waypoint, because that's how I like to do it, baby. Anyway, since 2023 is fresh as that rash on your baby's arse, I don't know where that metaphor came from, I figured we could talk about some of the upcoming titles that I'm excited to play. But first of all, if you want to hear what my favourite games of 2022 were, and a very quick rundown of some of the excited ones I'm excited for in Excitingly 2020 Exciting Free, then you can go and watch a YouTube video called My Best Games That I Played This Year, or whatever I called it. You'll find it. It's got gold text. And it's the first time, I believe, I've done a video that was scripted. The script was just my blog post, but it was scripted all the same, and I got music for it, and I got images for it, which doesn't sound like a lot of work, but reminder, I'm doing this all in my spare time as a hobby, and basically I spent my entire evening last night making this video, and I'm pretty pleased with it, so please do go take a look. I felt like one of them proper YouTubers, except one of them proper YouTubers would have actually got moving B-roll. Anyway, moving on, Starfield is coming out this year, hopefully, and I'm really excited for it. I don't think the combat's going to be amazing based on what we've seen so far, but everything else, chef's kiss. People are a little bit like, oh, they've said there's going to be like 1,000 planets or whatever. That seems a bit boring, but I feel like they've also said that there's going to be as much crafted, like handcrafted world as there has ever been from them. And if that's the case, I don't care what random generated planets there are to do as a side thing. That doesn't bother me. I really wanted to get into Bethesda's Fallout series, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. I find post-apocalyptic landscapes to be depressing as shit. And although I think Fallout 4 does it really well, and is like, the music and the atmosphere and everything is beautiful, it's almost too well done because, yeah, it just kind of puts me down. Starfield, on the other hand, is about space exploration and humanity going out to a new frontier, and they've done something really cool which I'm excited about, and I mean, unless I've got this wrong, but from what I can tell, it seems like there's no aliens yet, and I'm assuming it's like a First Contact story because they find like this ancient relic or whatever. I'm assuming it's that part of Mass Effect lore where they find that thing on the moon or Mars or whatever, and it like allows them to learn like faster than light travel. You know, I'm assuming it's that era of space travel, and that's really exciting. But also I just love the way Bethesda RPGs are crafted in general, and I like settings like moons and stuff, so that's gonna be cool. And yeah, I'm not expecting it to be like No Man's Sky in terms of like the varied planets. In fact, No Man's Sky isn't even that varied. After playing for like 30 hours, you've pretty much seen it all. You're just going to be seeing it in different variations from that point onwards. I'm just excited for like the story and to immerse myself in this big space RPG from Bethesda and to see what they're doing next, because it's not the Elder Scrolls 6, but it is the team who will be making the Elder Scrolls 6, and it is like the same genre, so there's a lot to be excited about for sure. Next up, oh, that came out weird. Next up on my list of most anticipated titles, Diablo 4, obviously. Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls is one of my favourite video games of all time, and Diablo 4 looks like it's going to be basically taking the atmosphere of Diablo 2, and by the way, I've dipped my toe into Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I fucking adore the atmosphere, and I understand what everyone was saying about Diablo 3 now in terms of its aesthetic, although I still like Diablo 3, but it's different. So Diablo 4 looks to be combining Diablo 3's gameplay with Diablo 2's aesthetic and story kind of tones, and that's going to be fucking awesome. And we've been getting some really good feedback from people who have played through the entirety of the first act, and apparently it's really good. and the only real concerns I have are endgame and what does it look like playing Diablo in a shared world, and are they going to keep to their promise of making sure that you don't have to pay to get the really cool looking armors, because there is going to be some battle pass stuff, which is fine if it's done right, but this is from the company that didn't do it right with Overwatch 2, so I mean, and also Diablo Immortal, oh boy, not going to touch that one. Speaking of Overwatch 2, PvE mode comes out this year. I'm still quite dubious about whether that's really going to be for me, because I've never really gotten into like a Left 4 Dead wave style game, and it seems like that's kind of going to be a kind of co-op gameplay. That's going to be the PvE missions, and they've done some stuff like that in the past with events, and I've never really been super into it, so I don't know, but sod it, we'll put it up on the list, why not? Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out this year, and while it's not necessarily set in a time period or place that I'm super knowledgeable or excited about, it does seem to be like a return to roots style gameplay, and I think that's really cool that they're doing that alongside continuing to do the modern stuff. I like both. Let's have both. Thank you, Ubisoft, for that. Hopefully it's not a buggy mess that's rushed and full of microtransactions that have no business being there. Ubisoft. Gaming's in a wonderful state right now, isn't it? Forza Motorsport comes out this year. The one and only, apart from those 7 other one and onlys. And it's looking to be like the biggest graphical thing on the Xbox Series X and S. So that's exciting, and I do like a good old boring racer every now and again. I have been playing through Forza Motorsport 7, can confirm that is a boring racer, and it's great to just like boot it up every now and again, stick on a podcast and just drive. I've never really gotten into the multiplayer modes of one of these games before, so I might tinker with that as well, see if that's any good. I feel like the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake will probably be announced as coming out this year, but it's technically not been. But I'm really excited for that because I love me some Dragon Quest, and I want to go back and explore older JRPGs with modern kind of like sensibilities injected into them. So hopefully they've got some of that. Hopefully it's not just a raw translation of Dragon Quest III, but they've already remade Dragon Quest III before, not even that long ago, and that was part of a trilogy that actually made some stuff better. Like, I've only got the first Dragon Quest game from that trilogy, but I know that the NES version you had to like go into a menu to open a door, so you don't have to do that on the Switch version, so that's nice. I assume there'll be more of that quality of life. But also people tend to hail Dragon Quest III as one of the greats, so that's exciting. Also, as a quick aside, Persona 3 and Persona 4 are coming to Xbox Game Pass in a couple of weeks, and I'm excited to try them out because I tried Persona 5 and I really love the aesthetic of it, and unfortunately my brain got called away on other little attention details, but it might be fun to try the older ones before really sinking my teeth into the newer one. Also, this is just a shot in the dark, just like it was last year, but Dragon Quest X Offline, you made that game so that it could be translated over to a Western audience. Like, why haven't you announced it for the West yet? What are you doing? Please, please, Square Enix, I'm on my knees. Metaphorically, don't check. Please give us Dragon Quest X Offline Edition, or even better, Dragon Quest X. Because here's my thing: if Dragon Quest X Offline Edition is the same story and everything as the MMO, wouldn't a translation of the Offline Edition mean you also got most of the translation work done for the MMO? I said done twice. I'm not redoing this. I want to play that MMO so badly it hurts, but I will take the offline version if that's what we're getting. But we don't even have evidence of that. And finally, Story of Seasons, It's a Wonderful Life. I've never played a Harvest Moon or a Story of Seasons game. Closest I've come is Stardew Valley. But this remake looks delightful, and it might be my jumping on point. I would also do a section of this video talking about shows and movies I'm really excited that are coming out this year, but I actually never keep my finger on the pulse of show and movie releases, so I don't actually know what's coming out this year. Maybe I will know more by next week and I'll do it then, but don't keep your hopes up. Just to talk about what I've been up to this week, like I normally do in these videos before the end of a video, I've been playing Guild Wars 1, the original. Because there was a Josh Strife Hayes video, a year or two ago, where he was playing it, and for whatever reason, I don't normally watch him, but for whatever reason I watched that video, and it looked really cool and neat to me, and it's like this 2005-ass MMO that you can still play today without really needing other players. You do need the servers to be online, so hopefully they continue to keep those online, but you can kind of like venture forth with a party of NPCs, and it's kind of like this action strategy game. And I've played through the pre-searing, which is kind of like the prologue zone, and it's really fun, and I'll probably put out a video about it pretty soon. And yeah, it's just been like a neat little side gig, checking that out. Meanwhile, I've been playing... Did I mention I got The Witcher 3 last week? I've been playing through The Witcher 3 on and off, and I've been continuing my Final Fantasy XIV endeavours, of course. I've just picked up mining because turns out if you want to level up your crafting, you should probably have both of the mining and botany jobs up. And if you're going to do culinary, you could probably do with fishing as well. It's all interlinked, who would have thunk? Something I'm going to do this year is continue to delve into... I always feel weird calling it retro gaming because, like, I listen to a retro gaming podcast and they tend to, like, stray away from anything PS2 era or onwards. But as a 27-year-old, I typically view PS1, PS2, PS3 as the retro era for me. So I want to continue exploring what I consider to be the retro era, not just with games that I've played in my lifetime, but with acquiring titles that I didn't. Like, there's a whole platformer on the PlayStation 1 called Croc the something or other. People are probably screaming right now because they know what it is, but I've never played that one, and it could be cool to like play some old Nintendo games and stuff like that. So this year I don't just want to continue playing my childhood games, I want to play other people's childhood games, because I'm starting to realise that that era of gaming, you know, sensibilities in game development change. I very much remember picking up a magazine around the start of a PS3 era, and reading through the previews of all the PS3 titles that were going to be coming out and thinking, wow, this sure is a lot of gun and sepia tones and adult themes. Where are my Ratchet and Clanks? Where are my Spyro the Dragons? Damn it, where are my Need for Speed Undergrounds, you know? Although that doesn't really fit what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. There was an era of gaming where people realized that adults played video games and that they should make video games for adults. And that's cool and all. I'm an adult. I enjoy adult video games. Not that kind of adult video games. Get your head out the gutter. But I miss those Gex Geckos. I miss that kind of shit, you know? So I want to explore not just the games I'm familiar with, but the games I missed out on, because I think I will still enjoy them for what they are. Other than that, I want to keep doing what I'm already doing. I have a lot of fun with this channel. It's a very satisfying creative outlet to me, and it's something I spend a lot of my free time on, obviously, because I love doing it. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. Go figure. Sometimes I consider, like, is my channel too much variety content? Should I split off my thoughts on videos to a different channel? But man, I've got a small enough audience as it is. I don't need to split them in half. So yeah, I'm afraid if you're subscribing for stuff about Doctor Who episodes when they come out, you're also getting me playing Need for Speed Underground and Gex Gecko, which is coming out at some point in the future, and Guild Wars, and oh my, lots of different things. As for real life in 2023, anyway, let me know what you think about the upcoming year's trials and tribulations down in that comment section below. If you like, you don't have to. Not your dad. It would be nice. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. In the meantime, this has been Need for Speed Underground 1. And if that made you feel nostalgic, like you want to play some Need for Speed Underground 1, then I recommend doing it, instead of playing Need for Speed Unbound and going, hey, this doesn't play like this arcade racer that they made years and years ago and will never remaster because they personally have a vendetta against me enjoying anything in life ever.